Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris news. In an attempt to fight understaffing, Disneyland Paris has lowered its recruitment age to 16 years.
Images of the Avengers deployment vehicle have been released.
Hong Kong Disneyland will officially reopen April 21st.
The new logo has been revealed for Disneyland Paris Hotel.
As part of the 30th celebrations, Imagineers took part in a 30 Years of Imagination conference at Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel Conference Center.
Arabus Brothers open a new location in Disney Village.
The Main Street Quartet return to celebrate the 30th anniversary.
Can I just say, because this would bother me if I was listening, I think it's called the Disneyland Hotel, and I put the Disneyland Paris Hotel. I think probably just as I was typing, my hands are so used to typing Disneyland Paris that it just came out naturally. Or maybe auto-spell did it. I can't remember.
Can I just throw a disclaimer in? Because, I like to do that with technology and stuff.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't be Disneyland Paris Show if Chris didn't give you a little technological disclaimer.
We have a 4 input device for our microphones, and I plugged them into the wrong 3, which is why I was very quiet during the news then. But hopefully, it'll be just about sorted.
I was just checking that.
Yeah,
you're quiet.
I'm reworking it, but everybody's settings were wrong. But we were having visual problems, so I wasn't focusing on the audio. Now I have, and hopefully it'll be all right. We shall see what happens.
Give us a thumbs up, guys.
But we do care.
Yes.
We do our absolute best to get
thumbs
this
down.
the best quality we possibly can. So.
Or 2 thumbs like this, if you like.
And we let Chris do all of it, and me and Hugh just sit here looking really pretty.
Before we do the news, there's some very important housekeeping, which is cup news.
Oh, is it indeed?
Hey, ole, it's showtime. All together. Your tiki cup in your tiki cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage, I'll drink it up from your tiki cup.
I now have my very own tiki cup, which isn't really a tiki cup.
No, it's
I've been a little reticent about joining in the tiki cup thing because, and this is going to seem odd to you, I don't like drinking out of vessels I can't see into because I don't know if they're clean and if there's stuff floating in them, and I prefer to see into my glass.
You also moaned about the size of the rim as well, and how it felt when you were drinking out of one the other week.
Yeah, my lips don't like rims.
Such a princess. Anyway, so listeners, Lucy's got a
we were in the range.
Strawberry.
The range.
It's just a
other budget shops are available, and we bought a clear strawberry-shaped beaker thing with the straw coming out of it. Not technically a tiki cup,
and leaves on top.
but I really like it.
It's kitsch, but
I like it.
Drinks feel more refreshing coming out of a strawberry.
Chris's tiki cup is empty, as is mine. But we're going to be having this now. Chris saw me tweet about this, so he'll know exactly what it is. But I bought the weekend, a complete sucker for a bit of branding. I bought some Barrett Wham flavoured drink, and Wham is the Barrett chewy bar, which I didn't realise was raspberry flavoured, because this is it's sugar-free, so you won't like it because it'll have that awful aftertaste that you don't like. But it's raspberry flavour still spring water. I suppose it vaguely tastes like Wham. Have a go on that. But like, if this was just raspberry flavoured water, I wouldn't have looked twice at it, even though I love the flavour of raspberry, or raspberry if you like. But because it said Wham on it, I had to have it, and it's very, very mediocre.
I'm quite looking forward to this, not necessarily because I'm going to enjoy it, but because I've had a bit of a retro weekend this weekend, because on Friday, and I'm counting Friday as the weekend, Good Friday, on Friday I went to the arcade club in Leeds, which is basically a massive arcade with classic consoles in it, so I've been playing all kinds of classics, and a bit of Wham alongside that feels pretty apt.
Whamageddon.
Should we talk about Disney?
This would be nicer if it was fizzy. Let's talk Disney.
Let's talk Disney. You do like a nice fruity fizz, don't you?
I'm sorry if I'm making anyone need the toilet right now.
Oh, that's intense.
I just did it as well, Chris, so...
You didn't squeeze it through the lid, though, did you?
ASMR crazy, which I hate actually. But
Right. Let's discuss this. There's all the Disney parks. This is a problem. I don't know about the Asian parks, but it's a problem in the US. It's a problem in Paris. Are struggling to get their staff back. Here's an idea. Pay them more. But that's a different conversation,
But
honestly.
if they're 16, you don't have to.
Well, exactly.
or in French, saisons.
So they've lowered their recruitment age to 16 years old in an attempt to sort of fill some of those gaps. And as you say, they won't need to pay them as much. Sneaky. There are some stipulations. I translated the advert on Google Translate. So this is all from the actual advert that's trying to recruit. But they have to have conditions include an 8-hour maximum workday and 2 consecutive days of rest a week. Now, I'm not clear if this is laws for not under 16s, under 18s, or if this is French labour laws, because I have heard that French labour laws are watertight. So that might exist anyway, but that's in the advert. So, yeah, just saying. But I don't know. You see, the thing is about Disneyland Paris is I think a lot of people, however little they get paid, it's still the dream job to be there. And so you get real quality, dedicated staff, and it's wonderful. Anyone over the age of 16, or not anyone who gets the job over the age of 16 is making me a little nervous.
But
it's cheapening it a little.
Well, you feel like it is, but for a 16-year-old whose dream job is to work for Disney, this could be the start of their 30-year journey. And in the 60th anniversary, they could be there on Main Street going, look at these people who've been here for 30 years.
You're absolutely
all because
right.
of this opportunity.
You're absolutely right. They could. Or I'm just thinking of the teenage waitresses down our local carvery and how utterly gormless they are. But hopefully, Disneyland Paris can recruit some slightly more sterling talent.
I guess time will tell, won't it?
It will. It will. And also they're not all in customer facing roles as well. They're looking for them in housekeeping and all sorts of things. So there you go. That's just an interesting development.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you a bit of picture news just for you choosing the order in which you're going to do your stories?
Yes.
When I go onto the picture thing, it's not going to be the Avengers deployment vehicle first.
Okay. So we've got a new logo that has been revealed for the Disneyland Hotel. Let's have a little look. Ooh, now Hugh, do your audio descriptive thing.
Okay, we're looking at a visual representation of the roofs of the Disneyland Hotel in gold with some stars underneath.
The 5 stars.
And a very nice typeface that says Disneyland in a large size, and underneath in a sans typeface is the word hotel.
Just Google it. I can't get past. I want to jump straight in and say, and I've done it several times now. I can't get past the fact that the image of the roof at the top looks like a guy sticking his thumbs up like that.
It looks like a guy in a witch's hat going, "Hey," and then there's 2 other witches behind him. Sorry, her.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's, as well as a representation of the roofs of the Disneyland Hotel, it's meant to be a crown, I think.
Yes, they did. I heard that as well.
I like it, actually. You're getting crown,
really
you're getting
like
the roofs.
I like that the Y is kind of that split elm tree shape with the star going down into it. Gives it nice symmetry. I really like this. It's very classy as well.
Magical by Sarah says, someone had fun on clip art. Very basic.
Oh,
simplistic,
really?
I would say.
I do
go
like
simplistic.
it, though.
I quite like it.
I do like it a lot.
I like the Y.
Has it? You know
It's got
how
a nice Y that splits down the middle.
the thing on YouTube now is CGI artists react to bad CGI and political analysts react to political ads. Well, you are a graphic designer. I want graphic designer reacts to graphic design.
It's nice. It's simple. I think the only thing that complicates it slightly are the stars that are underneath the roof.
Yeah.
Image.
But they're there to represent the 5 stars of the hotel, aren't they?
Yeah.
It does.
But do you know what? It's I think it's 4 stars.
It's smart.
I give it
isn't
4 stars.
It's smart.
Yeah.
It looks very upmarket. It's a good logo for the highest level
Yeah.
hotel at the resort.
And I'm not poo-pooing Magical by Sarah's comment, because if that's what you think, then I can't argue with that. That's that's how you see it. That's fine by me.
Can you imagine? This thought has just popped into my head. Can you imagine the price of the Disneyland hotel rooms when it reopens, given the price rises we've seen at the Cheyenne? You know what I mean? It's going to be £1,000 a night. I just can't. In fact, it already was at certain times of year, wasn't it? I can't. I think it's going to make your eyes water. I think I might have to give up my dream of ever staying there, which makes me very sad.
It felt like a once in a lifetime thing before. Like if you were going to do that, you almost paid for a Walt Disney World holiday, basically.
Yeah.
And now it's going to definitely be like that. So
Yeah.
it does make it pretty inaccessible.
Well, thing is that I always used to. What you do to yourself is you look at the price of the Santa Fe and then you go, oh, but an extra £150 we could stay at Sequoia Lodge, and then, oh, I'll think about that. And oh, do you know, for an extra £100 we could go Golden Forest. But if we do that, why not stay at the Newport Bay? You know what I mean? You talk yourself into it. But what you do is you get to that level and then you look at the Disneyland Hotel and you go, oh, for double the cost.
Well, just look at the jump in price to the Marvel Hotel now already.
Oh, yeah.
The jump from Newport Bay to Marvel is massive.
I
It's
don't
huge.
I don't know what Golden Forest is.
It's the club
Compass
level.
Club version of
Club level at
Sequoia.
Sequoia Lodge.
Oh, so Newport Bay it's called
something else.
something else.
Newport Bay it's called Compass Club.
Compass Club, and then there it's. Oh, I thought Compass Club was just across all the hotels. So all right, so each hotel has its own name
Club level,
for the
yeah.
club level thing.
They do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We accidentally
Well,
started
each
to
of
wander
the
down
four
that
of them.
corridor
Yeah,
and got pushed back.
Very good.
Anyway, so the theme is to be royalty. This is general royalty. So they're opening themselves up to use Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, Rapunzel, Tangled.
Alonwyn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your favourite Disney
Yeah,
princess.
the Alonwyn.
So it's not just princesses, they are saying royalty as opposed to princesses. But I think that's a very clever move for this particular hotel, because somewhere like, again, Sequoia has gone down the Bambi route and it's very channeled, isn't it? And of course, Marvel Hotel is Marvel Hotel.
Yeah.
This is really kind of, it can cross various decades and various different tastes, and I think they've got some very expensive suites that are all themed to different royal families and princesses and things.
Where's Chris going?
This is we're as nonplussed as the rest of you.
No,
by
he's
the way.
quickly plugging in his battery. Anyway, let's
Okay.
He was trying to be discreet, but there's no hiding the fact that he's just walked off the camera and looks urgent. So
Yeah.
right.
Right. While let's talk then. Hong Kong Disneyland is officially going to reopen. Now, just let me give you a little rundown of the traumatic 2 years that Hong Kong Disneyland has had. It was amongst the first parks to close, along with Shanghai, on January the 20th in January of 2020. It reopened after 5 months into June, and then it closed only 1 month later in July. And then it reopened in September and closed again in December. So it opened and closed twice or 3 times, depending which way you look at it. It then opens in February of 2021 and manages to stay open throughout the rest of 2021, except, and I didn't even know about this, they closed for 1 day in November after they got a single case confirmed.
Sprayed the whole place down.
They got, I think it was a single guest notified them and they shut it for a day. Now, can you imagine if somewhere like Disney World or Disneyland Paris did that for a single guest? They clung on.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then it closed again this January. 2 years after its first closure, it closed again this January. But the joyful thing is, it reopens on April the 21st, which is in 4 days' time from where we are now. So it's had another more than 4 month closing. But it's
Nuts.
back. Shanghai didn't do that, did it? It was the first to close. And it has closed again recently, but it didn't have all those yo-yo opening and
No, I don't
closings
think
in
so.
between, I
No.
don't think. I think it was just quite successful when it went. So all the best of luck to Hong Kong and anyone who may be visiting there. I think I do know someone who was on a Asian cruise and had disembarked at Hong Kong the day that it closed in January 2020, and just turned up at Hong Kong and they went, "We've shut Disneyland," and they were like, "What?" And they were Disney fans who had gone just for the purpose of that. I mean, just nightmarish. But with this going on, I think it'll be several years before. I mean, we're not planning on doing an Asian tour yet, but we are like bucket list in the next 10 years. We'd like to do all the Asian parks, but that won't happen until COVID has disappeared, because it's just too much of a risk to go over there and do that.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're back, Chris.
Yeah.
Shall we look at this very exciting image of the ADV?
Well, just before we do, can I just read out what Mark Riley's put in the chat, because
Yes, of
I
course you
need
can.
it right now.
Yes.
Mark just said, been listening to your podcast version the last few weeks, and I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all the work you've put into making the sound so good. It's so clear.
Oh, thank goodness.
When I'm running around with technical issues like I've done for last week and this week, it's quite nice to know that some of it's going right.
We applaud you.
There we go. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That really does. We do
Just wanted to pat myself on the back a little bit there.
We do. I say we. Chris does put a lot of effort into the technical side of this, and it's nice to have a little affirmation.
And a big shout out as well to all the Patreon subscribers who actually made this possible, because
Yeah.
these microphones were all purchased through Patreon dollar.
Dollar.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Right, your picture, yeah?
My picture.
Let's have a gander.
Hugh, if you would.
Well, we are looking at a blocky car with some blue lights on it.
Locky.
Blocky, not low-key. I don't know what this is.
I'm going to tell you.
It's a chunky car with the Avengers logo on the side.
I shall tell you what it is. It is the Avengers
tell.
deployment vehicle, and it is...
Oh, right.
Yes. Well, the information I have is that it was designed by Tony Stark and Shuri of the Wakanda Engineering Corps.
And it's to bring the Avengers into the campus.
Yeah. It's used to transport Avengers around the campus. Now, I think that basically this
But they've got a Quinjet.
It's so strange because it's going to be such a small campus. I presume that this is how meet and greets are going to arrive, and that there'll be some kind of small streetmosphere things going on with it. But if a garage door opened and this drove out and drove 3 meters onto the tarmac. However, I laugh and I joke. These kind of details and this kind of, well, it's immersion, isn't it? It really does matter. We make a joke about how far they have to drive, but it's got a backstory. It fits a theme. It'll have Captain America
The backstory
springing
is
out
rich
of
as
it.
the Thunder Mesa backstory, I would
Yeah.
say.
It's got a cup holder.
Air conditioning.
You can charge your phone and everything.
It's what we all want to see, though. Spider-Man arriving in a car.
It always bugged me when Spider-Man. You could buy a Spider-Man flying car. Oh no, that wasn't it. It was you could buy a Superman action figure with a flying car. Why does
it
Superman
need
need
a
a flying car?
Well, unless he's got a lot of luggage to take with
maybe
him.
he's just got a guest with him.
Does French Captain America travel in that car?
Yeah, I would never do that.
Yeah,
I'd never do
He
that.
sits on the wrong side there.
Tony Stark, does Iron Man sit in the car to come into Avengers campus?
Are you trying to get me to do that Irish Iron voice that I do? Let's take the what's it called? This car?
The Avengers deployment.
Let's take the deployment of. Oh god.
It's here.
Let's take the Avengers deployment vehicle. I can't do it anymore. It has gone Irish.
Very good. But in all seriousness, this gives us a glimpse of what we will experience when we go to Avengers Campus later this summer, which we will do. Now, just on that note, we've all suspected end of May, beginning of June.
Oh, you just answered Derek C's question. Derek's first time joining the chat today. So
Hi, Derek.
Thanks for joining us, Derek. And anyone else who's new, and all the regulars, we love you all equally. But at the moment, Derek more so. But he's saying he'll be visiting DLP for the first time in June, and he's curious to see if it will be open, especially since he was somewhat disappointed by DCA's campus.
Oh, well, yeah. Interesting.
Just lower your expectations. That's what I do with everything.
No.
Lower them right down to the ground, and
I
you'll
think
be
it's
fine.
gonna-
You'll be fine.
Do they have an Avengers deployment vehicle?
Probably not. No,
That's a question.
Hey.
they got a Prius.
This, Derek, is based on absolutely no inside knowledge whatsoever. But there have been heavy rumours that it's going to be the end of May, beginning of June. What we basically mean is the UK Bank Holiday Week is where most people have been going. It'll be then. But I give it a week, and if they haven't announced it, I don't think it'll be then.
No.
I think it's getting very, very close.
They're dropping things every couple of days at the moment, though, aren't
They
they?
are,
So
to be fair.
It's getting close.
Especially because the 12th of April, we are officially in the 30th now, and this is meant to be like the centrepiece of the 30th, is the fact that we've got a whole new land, is how they're advertising the 30th. It has to be soon. But I don't think it could go longer than a week or maybe 10 days without them giving an announcement of a date, and it still be the end of May. I think, but given that they have to do previews, they have to do press days, and all these people who go on press days and all this, they have to travel and arrange. I don't think that it can. I think we're getting very, very close now. Very close.
Speaking of the end of May, here's the beginning of Faye, because Faye has just joined us also for the first time in the chat today, and she's looking forward to going in September. And our little boy Teddy is a huge Marvel fan.
Oh,
so,
we love the name
so
Teddy.
you know, it's pretty nailed on that it'll be open by then, isn't it?
It will by September, because they've said summer 22, and if it's not open by September, they've downright lied to us. So
Sometimes you remind me of a BBC broom cupboard kids TV presenter.
And next on the BBC, it's cartoon time with Tom and Jerry. I love
Simon
that.
Tom and Jerry was never on the broom cupboard. Where's Belle and Sebastian?
I don't know. So, well, whatever.
Okay.
But I liked it when they just dropped in a random Tom and Jerry.
I want to go for the opening. And unless I have a really big event on at work, and unfortunately I do have a couple of big events coming up, I feel like I might drop everything, and that because I've been threatening a last minute trip for ages. We haven't booked anything for August yet, even though that's our kind of backup. We're going to Walt Disney World in May, and then when I come back, I want to be there for the opening of Avengers Campus. That's my dream.
Come in
Watch this
August.
space.
We've got lots of great plans. Come when we go.
That might
we'll try and add
happen.
seats to our
Yeah,
tables
yeah.
that
Do you
we've
know
already
what?
booked.
We're looking at schedules, and we'll probably just tag along with you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
will.
Come and join us. I've booked Agrabah, Hugh. Oh.
See, I'd go in there and just pick at things because the food
Well,
doesn't
that's what the boys are
excite
gonna
me.
do.
But the food doesn't excite me, but the atmosphere. I love Agrabah.
Hugh, can you do Robin Williams having a conversation with Owen Wilson, please?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh. I tell you, he does do that. He does say, oh.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Promise you he does.
Oh, that's really tickled me.
Okay.
That bald bloke just said Hugh definitely channeling Andy Crane, which is a reference some
Yes,
of the
Andy Crane.
some of the US listeners might not get.
I was thinking it was the one called Mark or Mike.
Mark Curry. Oh no,
Mark
he was.
Curry.
Mark
That's what I'm
Curry.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Mark Curry.
I'm like a cross between the two.
These are children's TV presenters circa 1989 when these three little people.
And one of them was in the UK version of Toy Story 2. I think it was just. Was it just?
That was Andy
Oh,
Peters.
no, Andy Peters.
Yeah, I know. But was that just the European version, or was it America as well?
I think he was. I don't know. Was he not in the American one?
Yeah, I don't think he is. Yeah, I think it was a.
If you've ever heard Toy Story 2, where one of the baggage handlers just sounds really out of place, and he goes, "Hang on, there's another one in here." It's Andy Peters.
It's because
Katzenberger interviewed him, didn't he, on Channel 4? Were you just going to say that?
the story behind it was
He
that
interviewed Katzenberger.
it was kind of to promote Toy Story. He did a tour of the Pixar studios and he interviewed people and he talked to Katzenberg. And then he went and
Can I
he
do a
was
voice?
a bit of a goofy guy who went, "You let me do a voice while I'm here? Can I do a voice?" And there was clearly like the production team were like, "Oh, all right, okay, let's find a line." And then he did, and he was in the final film, and it was like, what? Fun times. Fun times.
What's this podcast about again? What
Yes,
are we doing?
Disney.
Oh, yeah,
We're talking
right.
Disney. We're talking Disney.
Right, got it, yeah.
Right. Okay, Erebus Brothers.
Mm.
Yeah, these are the glass blowing. They do blow glass, don't they? But they do other things as well. They sculpt glass product people who are in Harrington's on Main Street. Now, the thing is, they've become such a thing. I don't know who's twisting whose arm to like get them in all these places in Disneyland Paris, but they have pop-up shops in the world of Disney. They've got pop-up shops on the main street in the Disney Village, and then they're in the castle and they're in Harrington's. It's like a big thing. Have you ever bought a glass ornament from anywhere? Would you?
Have I ever bought a glass ornament? No.
It's just a strange thing to me. Anyway, they've now taken over the Disney Fashion Junior shop in the Village. Now, that's quite a big location and quite central real estate. And again, I'm not clear if this is a pop-up shop or if this is them going all in it. So they're now going to have like 3 locations. But this is where they've settled on having the permanent nail bar. Now, they had it briefly in, what was it? Oh, Lily's.
Yes.
Yes, Lily's Boutique.
Yes, they did.
They had it briefly in Lily's Boutique, and we did, they said it was for like 4 weeks only, and we thought, now, are they trialling something they're going to bring out permanently?
And it was lots of money for 1 or slightly less money for 2.
Yeah, but I liked that because I think if me and Bonnie did it together, it would be far nicer.
60 euros.
So they have got this permanent nail bar now in this Erebus Brothers thing, and also they've got a glass painting station for kids. Now this makes it more palatable to me because you've got like little Disneyland Paris glasses that are just black paints, and then the kids can paint them in, and they've got a little like if you've ever been to like these pottery things, we've got one called Crafty Owls around here, you know, the kids paint pottery, so it's like that. Now that does look more like something I feel like we would do on holiday and we would spend money for than these really expensive glass ornaments they have. But that is now in Disney Village, quite a big location. They also have this week only glass Easter eggs with the same thing. The kids can paint glass Easter eggs.
Mark Riley says, Erebus, we blow.
Nice.
Yeah, I like
Do you
that.
want to hear Andy Peters on Toy Story 2?
Yeah, go on.
Hold it! There's a couple more bags coming to the terminal.
That's the voice of my childhood, kind of. I don't know, I was getting a bit old by the time Andy Peters came on. I got the tail end of Andy Peters. Ooh.
That's the voice of Lucy coming back at us again.
Don't need to hear that. Right, now we're on to the 30th anniversary stuff. You would have thought this would kind of come front and centre of today's discussion. As it was all over in a little bit of a whisper and a fart, if you'll excuse the expression. But everyone who was there said it was charming and nice, and they were glad to be there on that day, and it was enjoyable. But we didn't get the big bells and whistles that we got at
You
the 25th.
have to really like that parade song as well, because my word, did they play it a lot.
They did, and they did the flash mob at least 3 times, I think.
Was it a flash mob though? Was
Well-
it really?
Well, it was the first time.
It was 4 or 5 people
Second
kind
and
of
third
trying
time.
to join in. It was like Redcoats trying to get people
Yes,
dancing.
yeah.
It was just a bit weird.
Come on, guys, arm up. Yeah, all that.
And there were far too many moves.
But it was fun, and
Yeah.
I think there was a lot going on Main Street. This is what's brought me onto it. The Main Street Quartet, who were their original 1992 Main Street Barbershop Quartet, they were back on Main Street, sort of shaking hands and doing interviews and just being there. But I believe that they sang as well. There was some execs out and Imagineers out. You know, Natasha Rafalski was there, and there was just a bit of a more carnival atmosphere than usual. Now, even before COVID, we knew the 25th was something really, really special, and this is what I would have expected for the 30th, honestly. And I still maintain what they've done in terms of decoration, even merchandise, and I still maintain they've done a really good job on this 30th. You know, the logo, everything, the branding, the drones, the after show. I think they've done a fantastic job. And when we get Avengers Campus as well, it will be amazing. But there isn't a lot of news this week, given that we've just had the 30th anniversary. Just isn't. However, the other thing that happened was there was a lot of words in this. The 30th celebration, Imagineers took part in a 30 Years of Imagination conference at the Hotel New York Arts and
Baxter was there,
Marvel
wasn't he?
Conference. Tony Baxter was there,
Yeah.
Tom Delaney was there, and then I'll be honest, I don't know these names as well. Beth Clapperton, Tracy Eck, Bjorn Hagerwagen.
Bjorn Heerwagen is involved in Avengers Campus, and I think is it Tracy Eck is as well. There was definitely a couple of people there were talking specifically about that. There's one of the I can't remember who else was there. I've watched quite a bit of it. I can't remember. What was
I was just going to say it was live streamed and is still on the Disneyland Paris YouTube channel. It's 2 hours and a quarter. So I was actually saving it for one evening for me and Hugh to kind of watch in its entirety.
There's a highlight. There's quite a few people have put highlight shortened versions on YouTube as well. So if you just want to get the basic news, then it's you can kind of get that. But in all honesty, the main news that was in there was the Disneyland Hotel logo.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever. It's not like D23 where it is announcements and news.
No.
I think it was just a discussion with our heroes. At the end of the day, Bob Chapek and Bob Iger are not my heroes. It's Tony Baxter and Jim Shull and Joe Rody and people like that. They're the heroes.
John said he watched the whole panel. He loved it. Very interesting comment from Tony Baxter about how there's spare land in Adventureland for future development.
That expansion pad has been back in the day in 1992. That was kind of highlighted, and we've got this expansion pad. So keep coming because we're going to build on it. And then 30 years later.
But I think they made it very clear that the studios is where the expansion's happening at the moment. So I don't think there's anything going to happen soon.
I maintain Disneyland Park is close to being the perfect Disney park from the ones I've been to, just in terms of layout, balance, guest flow. I think it's just magical. And so I'm not desperate for them to open an entire new wing and maybe ruin certain guest flow things. While ever they've got another park that is hobbling the way it is, I'm like, yes, put your money there. Make it massive. Put anything you want in.
Then they can build another park with the land that they've got for the other park, and then they can think about doing something to the Disneyland Park when there's enough space for other things to be happening at the same time. Yeah.
Also at that conference, some lucky guests found. I've put golden tickets. They weren't golden tickets. They were just passes under the chair to meet the Imagineers afterwards. I would absolutely bleed from my eyes if I bent down and there was a ticket to go and meet Tony Baxter.
Yes.
I really would. In fact, the problem is I can't think right now what I'd ask him, and I've so many things I'd want to talk to him about that I would probably talk about nothing. You know when you're so overwhelmed that you just go,
you just go, what was it nice when you did it before? Was it nice?
What is it like being an Imagineer? That's what I'd say.
Where do you get your ideas?
Yes. So, right, guys, I think that's everything I've got for solid news. I've got some extra.
What?
To me, this is the biggest piece of news this week.
Warn me when you're going to do that so I can turn your microphone down. It doesn't
Sorry.
distort.
She does that sometimes. We're at home and she'll look at her phone and she'll go, oh no! And then she'll just pause, like leaving me in panic then, instead of just going, I've forgotten to do this, and I have to go, what?
No, it's because she wants a reaction.
It's terrifying living with her.
The jump. No, just have silence because this is important.
Okay, press silence, please.
The jumping fountains are back at Alice's Curious Labyrinth.
Bit of an anticlimax.
Oh no, that's big news.
It's great, but it's not like a.
Right, that's one of. From my like early trips to my 90s trips to Disneyland Paris when it was with my parents, I would just remember them so distinctly because you don't remember the whole trip and big details from that age. What you remember is these little visions and playing with those dancing fountains and sort of running between them and how magical I thought that was.
This is in the spiral, isn't it?
It's in the spiral and they jump from one, they kind of spit upwards and they also jump from one to the other. And I just thought they were so amazing. And then they were definitely there when we went in our 20s.
Yeah.
And then when we went at some point, definitely when we've been going back from Bonnie, they weren't there. This is nothing to do with COVID because they definitely weren't there in 2016, 2017, 2018. They weren't there. So I don't know why they went away. And I presumed it was because kids were being little idiots. Because the potential for, abusing that and flicking water at each other is annoying. Or that just it was deemed unhygienic because it was so long term that they were off. And now they're back. And I'm just couldn't be happier. Because to me,
That's
is
apparent.
Disney magic. That is Disney magic, is the jumping fountains in Alice's Curious Labyrinth.
I'm
Cool,
looking
I'm
on
excited about that.
our first trip with Bonnie to see if they were there.
No,
then.
they weren't, definitely, because I was dying to show her because she was 2. I thought she'll love these. I'm going to hold her up so she can catch one. And no, they definitely weren't there. And I was upset.
Alright.
So there you go. Oh, something else on my news but not really news list. Alison Hammond was there on the 30th.
Yes. I was watching someone's video of the 30th, and she was there in the background.
Thing is, I really like Alison Hammond. Every time she's talking about anything, well, unless it's something really upsetting on Good Morning sometimes, but I just smile
A
and
dog
I
has
want
died.
to go on holiday with her and be a friend. I just really like it. And the thought of going around Disneyland Paris with Alison Hammond, that sounds like a hoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was skipping along with the characters and waving, and I was like, yes, you go, girl, live your dream.
Faye's just said in the chat that she was there for the 5th and the 15th anniversaries. That's pretty cool. Isn't
That
it?
is very cool, and I
Yeah.
am very jealous. And she loves the fountains, so they were there on the 15th. Well, yeah, we know they were there on the 15th. I'm trying to think when I last definitely knew they were there. I
And-
can't think.
Mark Riley's. There's a bit of chat about Adventureland going on as well. Mark Riley said regarding Adventureland, either a replacement expansion of the Indiana Jones adventure, a jungle cruise, or a bayou cruise is what he would like. Personally, I want an enchanted tiki room, and I don't care what else goes in there. I'm not
Oh,
bothered.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yeah.
It's a massive failure at this park that they decided not to put it in.
Is there anything tiki themed at this park? There's not really anything tiki themed, is there? Is there? I can't think of anything
No,
tiki
that I can
themed.
think of.
Right, there's a thing going on with tiki, in that tiki is not Polynesian culture, and it never really was. The tiki culture is GIs coming back from World War II, South Pacific, bringing things with them, and then opening themed bars. So it's a very American thing. It's not a Polynesian thing. However, because that becomes kitsch and stereotyped, some elements of it have now become culturally insensitive, which
Right, okay.
I find a little frustrating. I can understand it from both points of view, but the thing is, it was never that culture anyway. It was always this culture, but now we're offending that culture, even though it's not technically that culture. I don't know. So it's
I
very
suppose
fuzzy.
when people start to believe that it is
That culture.
from Polynesia,
Yeah.
because we've kind of it's become misty over time, like where it came from. That's when it becomes complicated. As
couldn't
long
they
as long as
call
people know. I mean, I'm fully aware that it can be a bit problematic, some of this stuff.
Yeah.
but, like tiki cups, and I'm wearing
It's shrunken heads
Hawaiian
and
shirt
stuff like that.
now. Yeah, but I love Exotica and all that stuff. I like it for the fantasy element. It's not because I think I'd love to go there because it'll just be like that. I just think it's the fantasy element that I like, the caricature of it.
And
Not the
singing,
caricature.
just singing animatronic parrots when you're sitting on bamboo benches, and I love it.
Couldn't
Thing
you
is-
just rename it the Enchanted Tiki Room: it's not Polynesian?
Yeah.
And that would
Yeah.
be all right.
Mark's asking what's in in our Polynesian cups.
I'm quite liking this Wham stuff.
Do you know? If I just told you it was raspberry flavored water, you'd be like, yeah, it's fine.
Well, you know when you have a Wham bar,
Yeah.
and you get a big chunk of it that doesn't have the fizzy bits in it. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like the chew bit without the fizz, and it's lacking the
never
fizz.
occurred to me that it was raspberry flavored, and it obviously is, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
love
is.
raspberry.
It's all right. Is that? I'm quite enjoying it.
Good.
What's next, Lucy?
Oh, the demon dog is back
Oh.
from refurb.
Oh,
I'm not happy about this.
oh,
I don't like that demon dog.
Oh.
And his eyes
Wow.
are even more green and piercing.
That threadbare, disgusting demon dog. Where's it been then?
Love it.
How long's it been away?
I'm unclear.
We did report it. It was a few months ago, back in the last year.
Has
I
it been
think,
gone
wasn't
that
I
long?
think so. Yeah, it's been gone a little while ago.
Can I just say, because someone's
It's not the
noticed,
same without the
I am
awful.
now drinking from the can. The problem with this, and I was pre-prepared, is it's very small, and I drink a lot, and you will see that I'm often here with a 2-litre bottle drinking from that. I knew this wasn't going to last me for a whole hour-long show, so I brought backups. But I'm sad about it, because anything you drink from this strawberry is doubly refreshing.
You could have just been really rude, like Hugh and I are, and just poured your drink into your cup when
I
you opened
could.
your can. That would have been all right.
I did it next to the mic for ASMR reasons, but I hate ASMR. I'm.
Tell people who don't know what ASMR is.
What's your problem?
Is it autosensory something?
I can't remember what it stands for, but yeah, it's anything but
Whispering
whispering
into microphones.
Rappers opening. It's literally all the stuff. I'm misophonic. Is that the word? I have misophonia, which is it's a flight or fight response to sounds, especially those made by other people. So when I'm like being a bit grouchy about noises in the house, Lucy, it's not just impatience. It's something I can't describe that makes me so angry. And it's a known condition. So ASMR, when I see these adverts on YouTube saying play your ASMR videos, like when
People love it though.
When
don't
you've
they?
locked your phone, but you can keep your ASMR videos going. I'm like, who would want to do that? Who would want to listen to them in the first place?
Some people get off on like glugging water and stuff like that.
I hate the sound of people pouring water on TV.
I'm so sorry if you listen back to this because I literally
I did it, but I'm a hypocrite. I did it on the mic.
Yeah.
The Dunn family, 3 weeks from now, me and Katie will be
Yeah.
waiting for the fireworks.
I
at
feel like the
DLP.
Dunn family are always going there.
I know, and we should be always going there. No, I'm sad. However, I will say,
We're all going soon. We're
32
going.
days, and we will be flying.
It's a daddy-daughter trip, isn't it? Dunn family, is that right?
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Mm.
They've got limited edition Easter pins, and the new key is the Indiana Jones. But I've got bad news about both those things. You have to register online, Bertie, to buy them.
Does that still exist? We asked that the other day. Does it still exist?
I honestly, if I was there on a day when a being a pin trader, a collector, if I was there when a limited edition pin was being released, I'd be like, oh, I'll queue up for that. If I found out it was Line Bertie, I think I would go, oh, what bother?
You're all right.
You're all right.
Not worth it.
Because I hate that app. I hate it. I still don't understand it.
Yeah. It's unfair that you can like.
I was going to do a video on how to use Line Bertie when we were there, and then I realised I don't really know.
Well, you press something and then you actually went back a page by mistake or something, or it didn't quite go through, so you immediately did it again and it was sold out like 20 seconds later.
Like that.
Yep, that's what happens. Because hundreds of people.
This is the world we live in.
I just can't be bothered.
This is the world we live in. I would never go to a concert where they're like, right, tickets are released at 9 a.m. on Monday morning, and by 5 past they're all sold out. I just couldn't face that.
No.
I wouldn't even bother.
Well, I didn't.
Luckily, everything I like, no one's interested in, so I would never have to be competing for sellout tickets.
There were 3 restaurants for Disney World I failed to get this time, and I pride myself on being sitting at the computer 10 minutes before the time, going like that, and I didn't get them, and I'm pretty gutted. But I will keep trying. They've removed the charging stations from the arcade at the back of the Hyperion.
The free ones.
Yes, the free ones. And I
Here
think
we
I think they're selling charging sticks now.
Mm-hmm.
That might be why. It's a mistake.
If you follow your tips, you should be
though.
taking a charging stick with you,
You
anyway.
should,
Lisa.
yeah, you should be taking a big old brick. Yeah, that's where your weight goes.
I know I've said this before, but we found an outdoor plug socket in Adventureland on our first trip, and it's literally my fondest memory of that trip because we had a little digital camera to video stuff on, and it was running out of juice, and I was like, oh no, and we found this outdoor plug, and I had the plug with me, and it had a little plastic cover over it, and we just sat and we were saying, are we allowed here? Is this
Was this in 2001?
yeah, is this a staff thing? And I remember charging my
Is it
camera.
when the cleaner comes around with a Hoover?
I think so. Like, I was secretly charging it on this outdoor plug, and I was like, "This is great." And that's my fondest memory of that trip.
Top tip. And you've not been able to find it.
I bet that
since.
plug's. Well, I haven't been able to find it, but I'd love to know if that plug's still there in Adventureland. It's like a
going
little
plug
circle.
hunting when we go on
It was like a
If
little
this is-
enclosed circle with a couple of benches.
If this is anything to do with nickel and diming, I will just be so cross because they've got you into a position where you are relying on your phone for so much.
Yeah.
The least they can do is a couple of plug sockets and some air conditioning for people to charge it up. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're not benefiting from your phone dying.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
The problem is, if everyone's phone dies at 2 p.m., like the whole
And they all go
everyone in
back
the
to the
park,
hotel, yeah.
problems everywhere. People queuing up to.
People
do you not
just
think,
leave
I've
the
got tickets, but I
park.
can't get my phone. It's been a nightmare.
I'm just to throw some balance in here, do you not think the current energy crisis, particularly in Europe, where they rely quite heavily on like Russia, for
Ukraine,
gas and
yeah.
blah 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 blah, do you not think possibly they're going, do you know what? It's not cost effective. I know it is the thing about it being free, but if you think that energy has doubled in price, more than doubled in price, it's free to us now is actually costing them twice as much money as it was before.
That's
So
true.
it could be a temporary removal in the hope that things will get better in the future.
It could
never
be,
know.
but
Yeah.
I feel like there are other places that a park that size could save energy
We
costs.
do need to
apart
see.
From charging
We
some
do need to see
firms.
what happens if they replace them or if there's an alternative that's happening. We need to wait and see. But we're speculating at the moment. But the way things are generally across the park, it wouldn't surprise us if they found some way to monetize even this. I mean, they have already, haven't they? Because you can buy like power banks and everything in the parks and whatever. But if it's the only way now is to pay for it, then that's going to be very disappointing.
Yes.
That makes me sad. Right. Okay. So we've got about 14 minutes left of the show.
Do you want to know what
and
I've done this
about-
week?
Yes, we do.
Right. So this week, in fact, on Good Friday again, actually, we were sat in bed, 11 o'clock at night, about to turn our phones off, and Laura said, "I've just been on this Facebook group, and someone says that they've booked their restaurants for December." And I said, "Well, that seems a bit odd. I'll have a bit of a look and see whether they can book." And I went on, and sure enough, the week that I'm going is there and available to book. And it looks like people who are paid up through Disney now can book earlier on their restaurants. So you still, if you're traveling and you haven't, and you're just getting tickets or whatever, I'd think it'll still be different and you won't be able to access it. But it was specifically the week that we booked is completely open and ready to book. So we've booked all of our restaurants.
Oh, that's
for
nice.
the entire holiday. The only thing we haven't done is we want to go to Waltz one day and it isn't available to book on the app. So we've
Oh,
just
you have
decided we will
decided on
see.
Waltz.
We really like to go to Waltz. So we've decided that if it comes on, then we'll book it. If it doesn't, we'll have a look and see what we can do. But we've got three and a half months before we go anyway, so plenty of time for us to look and see if we can get in there. We've also gone back to Magic Break, so we've booked through and asked them to put in a character breakfast for us as well on one of the days. So we've done that and we've paid the extra for that already up front. I think I said before that we've moved to full board. Did I tell you this? I can't remember if I told you.
Yes,
or
I think so.
not. I don't know if I told you online or offline, but we decided the other week that just for the sake of having everything all ironed out and sorted, we'd go full board. It was only going to cost us. It wasn't going to cost us masses more, but it would work out cheaper than having to faff about. So we just thought, yeah, we'll book it all in. We know we can go and sit down. So now we're completely booked in everything now for
That's
for our
fantastic.
holiday, which is
So
pretty
tell
cool.
us everything you've booked then.
Okay, I can't remember the exact whens of everything, so I'll do my best here. But we've booked the steakhouse that we went in last time. What's that one called?
Silver
Silver
Spur.
Spur.
Silver Spur
yeah, so
next to the.
We've booked the
Haunted
Silver Spur
Mansion.
for the lunchtime the first day. I know that. We've booked downtown, I think, for the evening of the first day.
That's at the Art of Marvel
At the Art
Hotel.
of Marvel, yeah.
Mhm.
We've booked Remy's, all the kind of big themed type restaurants
Premium
we've booked
ones.
for lunch times or
Yeah.
sort of early afternoon. So we've booked Remy's. We've booked Captain Jack's.
Yes.
We decided to have. I think we've put 2 nights in at the Hunter's Grill at Sequoia just because we thought it's an opportunity for us to go back to the hotel for a bit. So we thought on those nights
Yeah.
we'll probably go back and eat at like 6 o'clock ish.
Very nice.
Maybe go back
as
to
well.
the hotel, get changed and stuff to go back
Yeah.
out in the evening. We've booked the Manhattan as well, so we're going to do both the Marvel restaurants. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. I can't remember.
What
I've
about
lost count.
Auberge?
We haven't booked Auberge, no. We decided that the extra money on that was a bit much for us, and we decided to do a character. Basically, the boys weren't interested in doing the princesses.
No, fair enough.
All right. I saw that look on your face, thank you.
Carry on. I wasn't going to say anything.
No. It looks enough on the on the podcast. Look is nothing, is it? But anyway, and we decided that for Plaza Gardens, the increasing cost to do the evening meal is substantial in comparison to paying the extra for the breakfast.
Yes.
So we thought we'd do the character breakfast, and also it's 8:15. We're in there before magic hour, early magic time starts, and then we're straight into the park for early magic time once we've eaten as well. So it's a really nice time to go and do that. And then the other place that we've booked is Agrabah as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's
That
good, innit?
sounds
It is
awesome.
good.
That sounds really
Yeah,
good.
and the great thing is we booked it that early that if we want to, we can cancel every single one of them and
Yeah.
change it and do something different. But for the time being, we know exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it. And so just to give it a plug, I was watching your video on what you put in your bag
Word up.
yesterday, and one of the things you were talking about was if you've got anybody under the age of 6, take a pushchair. Now Ollie's 5. We're not taking a pushchair, but I know what he's going to be like, and I think the fact that we know we're going to have sit down meals twice a day will make a massive difference to us well to manage it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's what we're doing.
Lovely
It's good,
stuff.
isn't it? It's good, isn't it? I'm excited.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
There we are.
Sorry, I thought we were caught with the chat and then you just moved your mouse.
Oh, yeah, I
and
just
went-
scrolled up. So I'd scrolled up a little bit earlier because Kelfie was asking about me where are the must-eat restaurants in the village, and I was just looking back to see what people were saying.
Oh, I don't know what other people said, but we did really enjoy Billy Bob's. Is it the Grange?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
That's above there. And there's a buffet one up there. I controversially really liked Rainforest Cafe. It's quite an expensive
I really
choice,
liked
and
it
it
there.
wouldn't be on the dining plan.
It's a bit
for you,
different
so-
food-wise as well to a lot of the other places because it's. I
It
can't
is.
explain, but it's good.
I find Annette's food very, very bland.
Well,
We didn't go. We went there. Well, went there when I went there when I was a teenager. My mum and loved it, and then we went back a few years ago, and it was just such bad service and such bland food. We didn't go back for years.
And we went back last time.
And then we took it. We went back again last August, and it hasn't really redeemed itself. It's fine.
It's very basic
people
food,
love
isn't
it.
it? It's just
Lucas's girlfriend's mum, she said about Annette, she
Hot
said the
dogs.
food was fine, she said, but the service, it was so slow getting the food that she said she wouldn't go back there again.
No.
The place that she recommended was the steakhouse, and I know
Haven't been
Mark Chester said, I think it was Mark Chester said in the chat that they really liked it there, but she said the steakhouse was the best place that they ate when they went the other week.
Kelfie's asking how many times we've been to Orlando. We've only been once so far. Second time's coming up. But like I was going to
We've
say,
booked
when you think of American food, you think of like the flavors. It's so delicious.
Turkey legs.
It's brilliant. And then Annette's, it's the most basic flavors of a hot dog with maybe some onions on it, and then some fries, and maybe some chicken nuggets or something like that. Your burgers, whatever. It's all just like it all tastes exactly like what it is, which is like it tastes like a burger with some cheese on it and some onions and some ketchup. It doesn't taste like you know, you're never going, oh, what have they done to this? Have they caramelized something? You don't get that at Annette's unless you know people could tell me otherwise. But both times I've just been going. Ugh.
I've said this before. In that the problem with Disneyland Paris food is it's American food being produced by the French, and it's just not. It's not culturally. It just doesn't match. Now, when the French are allowed to do what they do best, which is these buffet restaurants with the petit fours, and it is the signature restaurants with the quite elaborate meals, it's amazing. But when they have to do the American food, the burgers and it's just and cookies,
It's all right,
it's
isn't it?
always just like, yeah, it's okay. Yes, we are going to. There are some questions about Disney World. We've only been once in 2019. We were Disneyland Paris purists for years, to the point where we were almost deliberately not going to Orlando. We were being a bit no, because we have our home park and we don't need to go over there. We have everything we want in Orlando. And to be fair, we absolutely loved every second for 15 days. We just didn't want to leave.
To the point that you did what?
Well, within a month of coming back, we'd booked another one, but unfortunately that was for May 2020. And from then, we just kept rebooking every 3 months, and it kept getting cancelled. But in
what
the
else did you do?
In the middle of that, I realised that all this money that wasn't getting spent on going to Disney World, which is, I'll be frank with the amount, it was over £6,000 because that's how much the package was going to cost. I could put into a down payment more than 50% of a DVC contract. And so I then bought DVC contract. So we have pretty much, even though we've only been once by this point, we should have been multiple times by now, but we've signed up to going yearly for the next 33 years.
And how can people learn more about your DVC?
If
journey?
you want to know more about DVC and what it is and what I bought and what it cost, because I don't believe in being coy with what you spend. I'm too skint for that. I'll just tell you. Then you can go on our YouTube channel, and I've got a whole load of DVC videos. But we will be using our DVC contract for the first time in 31 days.
Welcome home.
And we will be staying at the Bay Lake Tower, which is at the Contemporary Resort. And we just, spoiler, we never in a million years thought we would be in an income bracket where we could stay at one of these monorail hotels. Because what we were just saying about the Disneyland hotel, it's that kind of bracket price-wise. And we just didn't think we'd be able to. And then we just found this workaround, became DVC members,
Resale.
pay on points,
Resale scum.
We are resale scum.
Ginger Fox 83 is singing Orlando in the chat.
Yes.
Um,
SeaWorld and Disney.
we were asked this very recently, but who was it who was asking about Universal? Oh, it was Magical by Sarah. You going to Universal too? No plans at the moment. No.
No,
We talked a bit about that last week. Didn't we?
there's,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a thing with that. I don't know. You see,
Couple weeks ago.
whenever we go off Disneyland Paris, I feel a bit bad. And now we've got the Patreon show. I'm like, oh, we can talk about that then. But basically, every time I've booked, I know we've only been once, but I have booked 6 holidays now. We've looked at the possibility of doing a split stay with Universal, and there's always just reasons not to. Now, having said that, Disney, with its little cheeky habits of nickel and diming, are actually removing some of the reasons every week. Like, we used to get free airport transportation with the Magical Express, and they've taken that away. And one of the reasons I didn't want to go to Universal was it was a faff getting there and back, when I could just go straight to Disney for free. Well, now I'm paying for airport transfers. I may as well pay for an airport transfer to Universal. And just loads of other things like that. So I think there's a good chance that when we go next year, we will do Universal. But we go to Orlando because we are Disney fans. We're really no interest in SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and places like that. We might do Universal.
There you are. So I've got housekeeping to do. Shall I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to press the roundup button, even though it's not a roundup.
Audience trip roundup.
It's really funny when we press the buttons here. We've got a little speaker, but it's Bluetooth, and it doesn't kick in until halfway through the jingle, does it?
Yeah.
And it's always just a little bit of worry about whether or not it's actually happening.
Did it work?
Yeah, there's no trip roundups today. I think it's the first time that we've not had one for a while, isn't it? Not had anything to report. But
Good, we're busy. We've got lots to cover in the next 2 minutes.
but we do have 3 shout-outs to Patreons. One of them is a Patreon who's been around for quite a while now, but we didn't do his shout-out for him. So this is for David Wilson. David says, "Hi, Chris. Let's go easy on Hugh and request Kermit. If I'm allowed to pick a song, can I have Kermit singing 'Everything is Awesome' from either of the Lego movies?"
I'm holding up Kermit, but I forgot he's green,
He's
so
ghostly.
he's a bit transparent.
Scary.
That's brilliant. Oh, we could do a thing
Halloween.
with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Chris, just pop some reverb on this. No. So Kermit singing "Everything is Awesome" for who's this?
For David Wilson.
David, this is for you. Enjoy. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're living out a dream. I thought it was when you're living in a dream, but I found out today it's literally the opposite. It's when you're living out a dream. Yay!
Brilliant. That's one down, Hugh. You can rest your vocal cords in a minute.
I'll have a drink.
Next up is Cheryl Yates. She became a Patreon this week, and she's messaged saying, "Finally supporting you properly with Patreon. I've had lots of shouts out and mentions on the show, so I thought it was my turn to give something back." Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, Cheryl.
If Hugh wants to do a shout out, I'll let him choose what he thinks is his best impression. Thanks for such a friendly and welcoming show and all of the extra videos on your channel. I'm focused on Walt Disney World now for a first ever trip next year, so looking forward to any content you do on that. Thanks again, Cheryl.
Now, I did what I think is my best impression recently, which is Stitch.
Ah, Stitch is good, yeah.
It was for someone's birthday, but so I'm not going to do Stitch again.
Okay.
This is my family. It's little and broken. I'm going to do. I've got another little character here, which is Edna Mode. So this is for Cheryl, is it?
Yes, it's for Cheryl, yeah.
Cheryl, thank you, darling. You're absolutely fabulous. Thank you. There we go.
Very good. And finally,
Oh, there's more.
there's one more, yeah.
By the way, people, like, I know people go, oh, God, here he is. He thinks he's good with his impressions. I know these are bad. I know when they're bad.
They're not bad.
I like that. But they're not bad.
Well, they're no Nicolas Cage, are they?
They're better than Andy Peters' impressions.
Yeah.
Ian Young then became a patron yesterday, I think.
Ian Young.
And he said, "Hi, new Patreon. Cheers for the weekly show. Thanks to you, I've booked our first family trip to DLP on the 11th of December for 3 nights, staying at Santa Fe using Eurostar Disney Express. If my son Stanley, 7 years, could get a shout out of some kind in the voices of some of the Cars characters, that would be awesome. Thanks, Ian Young from Wrexham."
He's
So-
the same age as our daughter.
This is Ian's son, Stanley.
Stanley, yeah.
In Mater, style of Mater, did you say?
Any characters from Cars?
Well, I know, like, we have a character on the show. We have a character called Jeffrey, who sounds a bit like Mater. But he sounds like this. He's quite high-pitched. But I know that Mater's a bit lower, isn't he? He's a bit more gravelly like this. And Mater sings a song, which is a version of the Humphrey Hop, which is an old Disney song. I don't know if you've heard it. But I can't remember which installment of Cars this is on. But he sings this song and it goes, "First you find a can from a rusty van, bump, bump. Quicker than a dart, make it into art, bump, bump. That's the way it's done, it's a lot of fun, bump, bump. Lifting my funk, making sculptures out of junk."
That was adorable.
And so that was for you, Stanley. And I'm sure McQueen would say, "Wow, thanks." Yeah, what else does McQueen say?
Not a lot.
He goes, "I need to get to California as fast as possible." Bump, bump.
Wow.
Later.
So that's our Disney Street pals over on Patreon for you. I've just seen in the chat. So Sarah Bird 87 has just said, "I have to say, I thought I was a DLP fan before I started listening, but over the last few months, you have made me so much more excited about my next visit in June. So thank you all."
I thought you were saying,
That is our
I think we said over the
aim.
last 2 minutes, but no. If anything, I've probably turned her off.
And Magical Sarah said, and I think there's quite a few people probably in the same boat here. Magical by Sarah says, "I personally don't sign up to any kind of monthly subscriptions."
I understand that.
Yeah, but do you have a platform where we can donate? I'd love to contribute, as you guys are great, without having to sign up.
Oh, we'll have to get a coffee. Well, wait, coffee account. You know about coffee?
No.
It's just like you can do like one-off payments. It's like basically like the price of a cup of coffee.
I know we watch a Walt Disney World news guy called Braden and his Mickey views, and he's really good. And I think when he when he started his channel, he was like 16 or 17, but his brain is the size of a planet, and he goes into really analytical stuff. And at the age of like, I don't know, it must have been about 19 or 20, he decided he was going to move to Orlando, and he just said, "I can't afford to, so if you guys want to contribute, there's a PayPal down below." And I thought, you know what? I really want you to move to Orlando, because I think he lived in Atlanta. So he was driving up and down a lot, which, I mean, that's further than we can't comprehend American distances, can we? You know, it's like forever away.
2 hours for us is like, that's a bit of a trek, and for Americans, that's like
12-hour drive.
that's pop into the shops for some bread.
So I would just like, so he just put a PayPal link underneath, and I donated like £15. I was like, go on, get yourself to Orlando.
The idea behind Patreon was just that it was something easy to set up, I think, and now we've started giving the additional content as well. I feel a little bit better about it. If that makes
doing
sense.
it, yeah.
But I guess you're right. You do have to sign up for it. You can cancel your subscription as soon as you've signed up if you wanted to. So you could literally go in, sign up, pay whatever amount you want to pay, and then cancel your subscription straight away, and you would have access for that for up until the following first of the month, so to speak. You'd be able to watch all the videos and listen to the content that's on there, and then it would go away afterwards if you wanted to do that. But it does sound like a faff, to be honest, doesn't it, Sarah? So
Maybe
you won't want to do that.
What I'm saying is maybe it's just worth, and it's probably worth talking about this off microphone as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But just using our 37 Disney Street email to set up a PayPal just in case anyone ever wants to.
Yeah, I think we can find
and
it.
we don't. I always say this. I'm sorry, don't sound defensive, but I don't
We're
want
not
anyone to
profiting.
be under the false impression that we're using this for our trips or anything like that. We're not. I mean, you know
I
what?
keep accounts.
We
And
don't.
everything.
We don't even pay for the ears.
No, it's
Someone asked about your ears.
it's for
Ooh.
it's for technical equipment and costs of hosting and things, isn't it?
These were a gift from our good friend of the show, Susie. She was one of our first friends of the show because she's a friend in real life, but she's a massive Disney fan. And she sent us a little goodie box a couple of years ago, and these were in them. Now, the thing is, I don't wear ears because two things. Alopecia, won't go into it. But also, I've just realised they give me a terrible headache and I'm dying to take them off. But I do like having them for shows and videos, even though I probably wouldn't wear them in the parks. So, yeah, these are Small World because she knows that Small World is my favourite ride. And I just love... And then I have them for decoration in my bedroom.
Bob Sangwell, our old friend.
Another friend of the show.
He's not old, but he's been a friend for a while. I mean, our friend. I'm making a mess of this. Our friend Bob Sangwell has sent us another copy. Chris has got this. It's the first 50 years. It's word search and other puzzles about Walt Disney World history. So it's Disney history and Disney puzzles. So he sent us a copy of his book, and I've just noticed, actually, I didn't realise this before, there's a dedication in the front that says, another for the throne room, Bob, because he knows I like a bog book.
Yeah.
I like these for the aeroplane, though, and this is how I'm selling it to other people.
Wipe down first.
So you know, there's available on Amazon, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's called Bob Sangwell, S-A-N-G well, Bob Sangwell.
And he did.
And he did sing well, and it's got puzzles and history, and it's you know, it's
but
like
the history is in with the puzzles. It's very clever the way he's done it because there'll be facts and things, but then you get another fact when you finish solving the puzzle. It's really good, and it's really good for a plane journey because it's a puzzle book and a reading book, and it's Disney related.
He's a Disney historian and archivist and an all-round nice guy.
It was originally, I believe, called Walt Disney World the first 50 years, and they had problems with it when they tried to put it on Amazon, so he hasn't been able to use the Disney name in the title.
Correct.
And that is one of the, I
That's
guess,
a
probably
problem.
causing some issues when he's trying to sell it. His other book does have Disney in the title,
So
but this one doesn't. So go and look for the first 50 years, or look for Bob Sangwell. Yeah.
And
if you put in
again,
Disney quiz, I think
it's
comes
just
as well,
another independent Disney enthusiast who is just worth supporting. This is the thing. There's a whole cottage industries out there of people who just
And
love it.
he's got an interview this
And
week.
we're not charging for parking the way that Chapek is.
If you want to know more about Bob, he's on Chat Disney. Is it this week he's on Chat Disney?
Yes,
With,
he is.
with,
I believe so. Tomorrow's episode. Yeah.
Mercedes is interviewing him.
Dumb Family says super chats. Can't you turn on super chats? I don't know what that is, but I can look into it.
I would imagine that is that for a certain level.
Possibly.
I think you have to have your 1,000 subscribers again, like you do for a lot of these business-related
stuff
things.
we're trying to do.
I'll tell you what,
Related
I
things.
watched I watch abroad in Japan, and it does a live stream, and the people throw money at them when they're doing a live stream. It's super chat. They must make hundreds per stream.
Really?
Yeah, let's go on that gravy train.
There we are.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. You were just going to finish, and I was going to say, don't forget to mention what we're doing straight after
Yes.
this. That's all I was going to say.
What we do straight after this now, because we are getting a growing Patreon membership, and we want to give something back because you're supporting all these green screens and equipment and stuff, is we turn all this off, we strip it down, so we just sat at a kitchen table in front of a green screen, and we do our Patreon after show party, which is basically an additional 20 minutes where we just talk about anything.
What did we talk about last week?
We talked about Moon Knight. I've got an update on my Disney
yeah.
bounds.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna do.
talked about
I'm
Disney
gonna
Bounds,
do
yeah.
that weekly because I'm doing some Disney bounds, so you can see some of my Disney bounds. We just talk about anything that's Disney, but because we do the Disneyland Paris show, we tend to not talk about Disneyland Paris. We then talk about all the surrounding fandom that we're just.
We're probably going to talk about the
part of.
Lion King show, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lion King
Yeah,
show
because
today.
We've all seen it now.
So yeah, if you want to join us for the after show party, you can join Patreon, which the link will be in the description down below, won't it, Chris?
For
I always
Patreon,
say
yes,
this-
it always is.
say this with confidence, and I have
Yes, it's
nothing
there.
to do with it. And if you are a Patreon member, are we doing it live this week, or will that be next week?
No, I think we were going to discuss whether we do it live or not. I think we could do it live very easily. So it's a possibility, but obviously at the same time, it depends how many of you want to join. So
Yeah.
we'll try and gauge that and make a decision.
Other than that, you can find the link on Patreon, can't you?
Yeah, once we've recorded it and it's all done, I will post it on Patreon for those of you who are Disney Street pals, and you'll get access.
And for anyone who is currently planning for or packing for a Disneyland Paris holiday, I'm like, my heart is fluttering for you, and I hope you have a magical, magical time. I put another video out this week, so if you want to think about how you pack your park bag, go on the YouTube channel, and I think we've rattled on long enough now, haven't we? So,
Yes.
thank you all for listening. These have been the boys. I've been Lucy. Good night.
Oh no, I haven't pressed the right button.
I do that too quick. I do that too quick.
This
This is Christopher
Band again from the Rosie Band. Bump,
and
bump.
Tiki Cup.
Quicker than a dark monkey in a bump, bump.
Yes.
That's the way you jump. It's a lot of fun.